Hi Leo, it's Karen here. I thought I'd do a quick read. I've already started shuffling, so I did a little bit of a shuffle and a couple of cards have flown out. And I thought, well, they're pretty good cards that have come out. The first card that flew out was the Tower. And what I feel about this card is that you're starting to open up in a different area, whether it be, I think it's more of an understanding of the universe. You're starting to open yourself up. You're seeing different things within yourself. Now, what is sort of helping perpetuate this is the fact of doing something different, something new. It's almost like if you walk the same way to work, walk a different way. If you're used to going to the beach, go to the mountains. Go see some different kind of scenery that's going to help crack the top off of this tower, because it's there, it's gaping open. I don't see it as a gaping wound or anything like that, but I see it as something that's about to be exposed. A part of yourself is going to be exposed that you haven't seen in a long time, and other people haven't seen in a long time either. And I feel that sort of grounding you is going to ground you and bring more confidence into your life. Because the second card that came up was the Hierophant. Now, with the Hierophant being the teacher, you can see the bird coming down through here. Generally on the Rider-Waite, you can see a lightning bolt hit the tower, which causes it to fall. But here we have a bird coming down through here, almost like the tower, the lightning bolt coming into the tower. Now, birds are messengers. Now, I feel that you're going to receive quite a few messages regarding this as well. Follow your inner guidance, because that's what's going to help also, take the top off this tower and allow more light to come in so that you can shine a lot more brighter than what you have for a while. There's a key in there. There's actually 2 keys in there. 3 birds, it looks like. The mother bird's coming in to feed the baby bird. So you're going to get a lot of spiritual mana yourself. You're going to get a lot of inspiration from the universe. Now, these 2 keys here, it looks like they've been hidden for a while, but now you're finding them. The Hierophant, as you know, in the Rider-Waite, has 2 keys at his feet. These keys are sort of wrapped up in nature. So get out in nature more, and that's what's going to help open yourself up a little bit more to know what these keys are. Because if there's 2 keys, there's 2 doors that you need to go through, which is going to enhance your intuition, your knowing. So it's quite an exciting time for you. Things may seem a little bit rough. You may, a week ago you might have thought, my gosh, what's happening? Things are feeling pretty rough at the moment. I really can't see a way forward. But during those times, this is when we need to sort of pause a little bit and just take stock and start to receive what the universe, step into the feminine side and start receiving. Even if you're a masculine, we both have masculine, feminine qualities within us. And the feminine side helps receive the information that comes in. The masculine side is the side that does the action, gets things done. Now, I've got a couple of other cards coming through here. Now I have the 2 of Swords. Quite an interesting 2 of Swords. I have 3 cats. 3 cats and a head. It's all... I pictured this image a couple of days ago, which is a bit weird. It looks kind of like a weird... But it's almost like that person has just got no soul, It's the old parts of you, the parts that you don't need anymore, the parts of you that are falling away from this tower. And I feel that you can feel those parts leaving. There probably would have been a little bit of, you know, feelings of grief, feelings of loss that are coming in. But there's a more playful side to yourself coming through. You can see the 3 kittens in the background. So, you know, how it relates to the 2 of Swords when you sort of, you know, work with the Rider-Waite is totally different. So you can see a new, and also having me pick up these cards when, you know, I generally use the Rider-Waite, it shows that a new, like, it's like new weather coming through. There's new things coming through for you. A new way to see things, a new way to feel things, a new way to experience things, Leo, which is great. I mean, there's the little kittens there. Leo being the cat, and the little kittens are starting to come out. You've done a lot of healing work on your inner child, and which is allowing that curiosity to come forth. And you're no longer eating other people's words, because you're now starting to use your words. Use the way you feel things and you see things. Now, the next card that's come out is the Ace of Swords. It's quite an interesting card. It's almost like a still it's kind of like a unicorn crossed between a seahorse, but then you can see that, you know, old part of you that's no longer there. The old part of you, it's like that you're still holding on to a part of the old part of you. The Ace of Swords here, swords being double-sided. One part, you know, one side harms. Do we still want to harm ourselves with one part of the sword, or do we want to start healing ourselves with the other side of the sword? But there's no back legs on this horse, so you can see it sort of slowly disappearing. It's almost like it's taking that old part of you away, where you don't need it anymore. You've cut that away from yourself. Which the cards that are coming up here shows that you've done a tremendous amount of work on your inner landscape to allow these parts to drop away and cut away, and allowing the universe to bring in more information for you. Do you know, almost like putting the pieces of the jigsaw together. So it's a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of personal growth, emotional growth. You're understanding yourself a lot more. It's like you're touching yourself. I don't mean it that way. That was the wrong way to come out. It's almost like you are touching a part of you that you haven't really met in a long time. You haven't seen, you know, feeling a part of yourself that you haven't seen for a long time. A new you. You know, it's been there. It's been with you for a long time, and you're just allowing the old parts to drop away. So I don't mean it in that way. So I know it just didn't come out right. Boy, oh boy. Hopefully they don't check the words in this and decide, sorry, it's no good. Okay, this flew on the floor. We got a few here. Okay, so what do we got? So we've got a few swords coming out here. We've got the King of Swords here. Okay. Now, the King of Swords is coming out as either a rooster or almost like a guinea fowl or something, a rooster or a pheasant. And his feathers are a little bit ruffled. Now, you may be feeling the same, feeling a little bit ruffled through going through this process of letting the old parts of you go and allowing the new parts to come forth. Feeling a bit ruffled, not sort of feeling home within yourself, but knowing that you need to shake all this energy off. You need to sort of just, you know, flap your wings. Go somewhere different, go somewhere new, start an exercise routine, just move that energy, keep moving that energy until those past parts of you are gone. so that you can, you know, knock the lid off this tower. Just knock it off so the best parts of you can shine forth. And I have here also, okay, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles. To me, the Ace of Pentacles, again, we've got a bird with a key. I don't know whether it looks like a key or a, yeah, it looks like a key. So we've got a hand coming out from the ground with a bird on the top. These birds are figuring quite frequently in this deck. Birds being messengers, you know. In the old days, they used to put notes on pigeons and send them off to, you know, send the notes to the other side of the, I think it was during the war or even different parts of life. They'd put a note on a ring on a bird and send the bird off, and the bird would go to where it's meant to go with a message. And I think a lot of them sort of got captured on the way, so the messages didn't reach where they're meant to go. So birds are messengers. So if you see birds, just try to read what it's saying to you. You might get, you know, find feathers on the ground. You might find a big flock of birds in the tree, depending on, you know, cockatoos, crows, magpies, doves, pigeons. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of birds. So if you see birds, just see what message they're trying to tell you. Also, you know, you could be a bird yourself, sending messages, getting your messages out into where it's meant to be, whether you write in a newspaper, in a newsletter, is getting your message out. That's what sort of birds represent too. And with the hand, I don't think it has anything to do with the Ace of Pentacles. It kind of looks very similar to the Two of Swords, but I don't feel it's got any relation to this one here that's sort of half dug in the ground. I feel this is, you know, coming up out of the ground, as being reborn again, because the bird here is a message. You've got the message, and it's like, okay, we've got to get our message out. We're being reborn. So you're going through another rebirth. I mean, you've probably been through many in the past couple of years, but this is a rebirth that's coming through, and the birds are going to be your allies to help you get your message out. And birds, and when you see the birds, they relate to air, and air is about communication, messages. So these are the only two birds. Well, there's three birds there that are flapping their wings. So again, it's helping you. What's going to help you move that energy is movement. Okay, let's see what other cards are going to come through for you. This is more about a new rebirth than anything else. And understanding, you know, what you need to do to help shift that energy. Move people from your life that you don't need anymore. Understand why they're there. Okay, so we have the Lovers here. There's another bird, a peacock. Now the Lovers is a card of choice, but it's also the integration of the masculine and feminine energies within yourself. You know, it's understanding, do I want to stay in the same old place? In the traditional cards, the Lovers is pictured as Adam and Eve. Here they're pictured as Krishna and Radha. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. From Indian mythology, from the Indian stories, Bhagavad Gita. Now again, and you've got swans down there, and swans, they mate for life, and also Krishna and Radha, they were a couple. You know, Lord Krishna absolutely loved Radha, and the same Radha loved, you know, absolutely adored Lord Krishna. So they were a couple within themselves. But it's sort of getting in touch. It's bringing that unity within your own masculine, feminine self, so that you can sort of feel that marriage from within, let's say. a lot of happiness, but it still is a choice, and it's moving towards that. Now the next card I got through is another sword card. Okay, so there's seven of swords. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 swords. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 swords in 8 cards. So it's a lot to do with communication. So it's 7 of swords, another bird as well, you know. There are other animals in this deck. Cats, bees, birds seem to be a big thing. Yeah, birds, bees and cats are what I've seen so far. But here is carrying a nest of keys. As you know, keys open doors. So it's a matter of, you know, once you've shaken off the old parts of you, where are you going to go next? What key are you going to take to open what door? We've had keys here before in the in the Hierophant, you know, in the teacher, in the Hierophant. So it is sort of taking note of what messages are coming through and getting your message across. But it's also taking, you know, understanding the messages other people are telling you as well, because other people are mirrors. So when you get someone coming towards you, you know, you sort of look at them as your mirror. Okay, what are you trying to tell me? You're giving me some information, and does that information sit with me? If it doesn't sit with you, don't take it, don't accept it. You know, you don't have to take the information other people give you if it doesn't fit well with you. It may not fit with you now, it may fit with you at a later date, because, you know, we're always sort of going through timelines. So the timeline you're on at the moment, that information may be relevant for you at a different time in your life. So don't sort of, you know, disregard it totally. Just keep it at the back of your mind, because you might need it later, especially if you're sort of going through a point of deciding, you know, what door you're going to go through with these keys here. So these are choices, you know, what door are you going to go, what key are you going to pick, what door are you going to go through. And it is all to do with understanding where you've been and understanding where you're going and how that resonates with you. Because although we say, okay, that was in the past, it has no relevance, in some cases it does have relevance. Because whatever you do in the past, you'll find that you will either recreate it in the future in a different aspect and a different timeline, and you'll see it in a different perspective, or you may be repeating a pattern again. So are you repeating the same pattern? It's like, you know, if you move houses and you move to, let's say, the country, and then you move back to the city, and then it's time to move again for some reason, what are you going to pick? Are you going to move back to the country? Is that repeating a pattern? Or are you going to move somewhere different or stay in the same area? That's kind of what that's how you can notice if you're repeating patterns. Is it similar to what you've done before? What did you do before? You know, is it a similar thing? Are you going to do something different this time? And it's always, you know, well, it's good staying with the familiar, but then you're still going around the same cycle. So it's always good sometimes to just step out of that and do something different. Okay, let's see what this card's come up. Okay, so we have strength. So it looks like butterflies and bats in this card. So there is more transformation coming through for you. Going through this process is going to make you stronger, and you will get a lot more courage. You are very courageous in having gone through this path already. Bats, so it is a matter of, because bats listen, basically, you know, sonar, they listen to what's up ahead. They send out signals, and what comes back, the echo that comes back, that's what they listen to. So with this card here, it's basically saying whatever you're putting out, just see what's coming back to you, just like a bat, because that's going to show you where you are on your journey. That's going to show you. That's going to sort of, and then that's where you're going to get your information from as well. Butterflies, of course, the mean transformation. So each time you sort of go through these processes, it just makes you so much stronger. You will feel a strength that you haven't felt before. So which is a good card to get through everything here, but there's still a couple more choices. Okay, so let's get one more card to finish up and see what's... But you've done very well, Leo, to get to this point here. I know at times it's kind of like, oh my gosh, is there further to go? And it's kind of like, well, yeah, we just got to keep going. But try not to use it as try not to see it as a trial or, okay, this is what I need to do, you know, work. Try not to see it as work. See it as the possibilities that it can be, and see where it can lead you as well. What doors can it open? What are you feeling? You know, if you are feeling that it's tedious and it's work and it's repetitive, what can you change to make it better for you? You know, going to somewhere new as what was depicted in the initial read. Do something new, do something different that helps bring more energy in to allow more light out. Okay, one more card to finish off Leo's reading. Just one more. Too many. Okay, just one more card. So even, you know, picking this deck of cards for you where I normally use, you know, right away, it's something different. It's new energy coming through, and it's seeing it in a totally different way. But there's a little bit more to sort of slough off from yourself. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords. So there's a lot of swords. A lot of mental clarity will come to you from this. You are now starting to understand how to use the swords. I have the Nine of Swords here. I mean, she looks absolutely shocked. You know, she's got her hair up, it looks like in flames. But it almost looks like, you know, rocks. Medusa's coming to mind as well. In Medusa with the snake heads, it's almost like, you know, if you looked at Medusa or one of her snake heads, you'd turn into stone. But where this is totally different, these are bits of stone, so it's almost like she's looked at Medusa and her hair's turned into stone. And that's not what we want. And that's, you know, going through the swords, it's understanding how to carve out a new future for yourself. It's not harming yourself anymore, but it's carving out a new future. So as previously, you know, with her looking like stone and standing like stone, and that's where the movement comes in. Movement of energy. Keep moving, even if it's walking around the block. Just doing, you know, just keep the movement going so you can sort of slough off the old energy. So you don't have to sort of feel like this anymore, you know, standing in stone. So the underlying energy, what we have here is the King of Pentacles. Now, what we have on the King of Pentacles, I'm just looking at all the animals on there so I can get, of course we have birds. Looks like a flying fish. But we have birds, we have mice, and it looks like a cuckoo clock. You can probably see the mice down here. We've got a big owl up there, so which means you've gained a lot of wisdom through this process. And you're gaining more wisdom each time you go through almost like a block of activity, a block of, you know, letting things drop away from you, you know, just walking through the emotions, just walking through everything and noticing that things are dropping away. That's where you gain more wisdom. You bring more light into your body, into yourself, and that allows the wisdom to shine through. And also the intuition. It allows you to sort of, you know, be spot on with the intuition. But I'm not seeing a clock face on here. I am seeing the face of, like, skeleton, face of death, which also means transformation. So there is more transformation coming through for you. And I feel this will go on for, what am I getting? 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. You can see a big moth. See the big moth up here? We've got the skull, transformation, the big owl at the top, wisdom. So there is a few more layers to come off. But you've done a fantastic job. You are going very well. You are doing very well. So be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. And I will be back with another read, hopefully soon, because I get asked, I get mentioned, okay, do Leo now, do Scorpio now, do this now, you know, do this read now. So Spirit tells me what read, you know, to do. If you'd like to know more, I do have a Illuminate Your Soul Path Tarot course. I will put the description link in the description box. That is based, it was channeled down to me from the divine. It's based on a healing journey. Just jump on my website and have a look. There's some information there. If you'd like to, I think February the 3rd, I think that's when, you know, I'm going to have the first session. So if you're interested, please click the link, like, subscribe, and leave me any comments. Have a great day, Leo, and have a great week. Take care. Good work.